Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for the OPTC video, and in today's video we're finally getting around to a showcase for one of the new Super Evolutions, being 6 plus Gear 5 Luffy, taking him into some content that isn't some of the stuff that you guys have already seen. So in today's video we're diving into some arenas. I have a clip from Super Boss Kazuna, as well as PKA level 150, utilizing the combination of Gear 5, 6 plus, and 6 star. But first of all, we're going to take a look at running double 6 plus Gear 5. Now, when in today's meta, you don't ever really run two of the same unit. We basically live in a hybrid meta where you're always going to be running a friend captain that's different to what your captain is. However, the easy way to do things, especially as a new player, is to run two of the same character, and finding out if the character is truly valuable or very powerful is by actually doing so. So running double Gear 5 can have its values, and the upside to the unit is that if you have an attack boost, he's an orb booster, and if you have an orb boost, he's an attack booster. So you can run two of them together and actually have both of them be your attack boost and your orb boost to the team. They both need the same requirement for their Super EX, being 3 Straw Hats, Kid Law, Momo, or Yamato. So that's very easy. But if you want to get the true effectiveness out of this unit, you need to bring one of every color. Now, bringing one of every color and then bringing 3 of those select units can be a little bit challenging, especially if you don't have an established box. However, it's not the be-all or end-all of how powerful the unit is. Over here on Arena Luffy, I wanted to show you guys how strong the rainbow damage actually is if you can satisfy those conditions. And having the ability to just have every orb matching as well as rainbow damage is just, it's disgustingly strong. Nevertheless, the EX allows you to be super effective against all types, or have a super type for every color. And with that, as you can see, you can just decimate these types of arenas and some of this easier content in the game. Well, not easier content, but like lower HP threshold content. As mentioned though, if you're an early game player, it can be a little bit challenging to do this. The big gimmick about him is obviously that rainbow damage is so strong. Every orb being matching at 6 times captain is just absolutely absurd. But if you don't have that, he's still such an absolute demon and an absolute powerhouse. The ability to completely remove despair, whilst isn't as good as something like blind or special reverse, I do admit, but it's still completely removing despair, which means you're always going to have this effectiveness against all types unless you get blinded first. But then you can just partner him up with his best buddy, being the 6-star version of himself, right? So there's always that to work with. But all in all, the two units together give the same unit together gives 4 turns of cooldown. You get an absolute monster attack boost, a monster orb boost, a 6 times captain, and you have a Super EX, provided you can abide to those 3 characters. Now, his Super EX is incredibly powerful. A 2 times additional damage, as well as turning every type into super type, is just phenomenal. And they've really honed in on this rainbow damage on this unit, because they want you to bring a rainbow team. He does rainbow affinity, and he makes every type super type, allowing everyone on the team to do big damage to whatever type they're super effective against. Now, Luffy has an abundance of supports, but Luffy's biggest support is that he makes every single special viable underneath him, provided you have one of every single type. So if you can't max out the Super EX and you can't find a way to get the 3 Straw Hats or Kid Law, Yamato, which you have an abundance of units in, by the way. There's plenty of Straw Hat characters and Yamato, Kid Laws, Momos in the game. But if you can't, for whatever reason, satisfy that EX, don't stress, because as long as you get one of every color on the team, you're still going to be rainbow damage. You're still going to be able to use any special underneath him, and that becomes a rainbow special, which is just absolutely insane. Luffy's ability to turn anything into a buff for himself makes the unit so incredibly strong. And it means that you can just literally run anything underneath him, and you're going to get that ability. Now, the downside to this is if it's a carryover, like a clock or a perfect buff, you're not going to get that second turn buff. Or if it's for a switch ability, or like if your captain needs to be driven powerhouse, or whatever like that sort of shenaniganry is, you won't get that ability. But, for example, if you run, say, in the previous clip, I had the Film Red Chopper, who's a Cerebral Color Affinity booster. Underneath Luffy, he's a Rainbow Color Affinity booster. He gives a massive heal. However, his resistance down is still only for Cerebral characters. So that ability to just have everything work underneath him opens the door to literally everything in the game and makes that one of every type a lot easier to satisfy. Like, much easier to satisfy. On top of that, if you hybrid him up with another color unit, you've already ticked one of your boxes, and he has a lot of characters that he can hybrid with that work exceptionally well. Now, one of those characters is actually Kid Law, that you have an abundance of other units that you can use. Basically, any unit that is a rainbow booster, and I did actually a video of, like, Gear 5, 6 plus best buddies. If you guys want to go check that out, I'll try and leave a link in the description. But Kid Law is actually one of them. Now, this is over in the Super Boss Kazuna to sort of showcase how much damage that rainbow buff can actually do. But you can use characters like Zoro, build out some free spirit teams. You could use Luffy Yamato, build out some other free spirit teams. Remember, Luffy Yamato's all boost would become effective for everyone, because as long as you have one of every type, you are going to get that effectiveness. You can bring characters like Sanji as your captain. You can use Nami. Any free spirit booster, any rainbow captain is gonna work, and just opens the door to so many options. Now, if you're using something like Zoro, you've already ticked your quick box. If you're using something like Big Mom, you've already ticked your dex box. If you're using something like Kid Law, you can use them to tick your int box. Now, the upside to using a character like Int Law as your captain, and then bringing a friend captain Gear 5 Luffy, means that you open the door to characters that need particular classes as your captain to get effects. And for this particular piece of content, you couldn't bring Cerebral units. As you guys saw there, Carrot and Nami actually got special binded for 99 turns. Now, lucky for us, they have the ability to just completely remove the special bind, which works exceptionally well. However, a unit like Robin wouldn't work in this situation. And to get the double conditional boost, there's only one other character that can do that, and that's actually Big Mom. So to do that, we need a powerhouse or driven captain. And for that, we brought Kid Law. They are a driven unit, and it worked exceptionally well, so that way we could get that extra benefit underneath Luffy. Now, Luffy's still giving a 6 times captain to Big Mom. And even though she's just so wonky on this team, she's still getting a 6 times captain. On top of that, the attack boost from Zoro is now effective for Big Mom. The color affinity that Oden and Toki give that would normally be for slashes is now effective for Gear 5. It all works so damn well, and makes the unit so incredibly valuable when you are trying to do these massive digits and these big damage teams, because you can get so much value with just hitting with Luffy's Rush. Now, Luffy's Rush is absolutely incredible. It does replace your final tap, and initially, we thought this was going to be a huge problem. Getting Super Tandem, getting Rush, and getting final tap showed how much damage this game was capable of. However, literally just with Luffy's Rush and the removal of Final Tap, the damage has kind of stayed the same. We've seen absolutely monster numbers in 10-star Kazunas, actually hitting the trillion damage against the int variation, as well as seeing monster numbers over here in Super Boss. Over 500 billion, I believe, was the cap at a 1.3 times to one of my alliance members against int. This particular one, I was capping out at over 350 billion with a 1.2. which was absolutely insane. And against Strength, we were capping out at like almost 400 billion with like a 1.2 as well. However, that was with a final tap. But with Luffy and his Rush, we were just seeing some absolutely absurd things. And this particular Super Boss really tried to hinder our damage. There was a lot of Intimidate that sort of reduced effects. There was a lot of annoying debuffs that stopped us from getting double conditionals and allowing us to hit with a lot of type advantage, as you can see, being a strength, half quick boss. But once you have a unit like Luffy who can do rainbow damage with an absolutely absurd Rush, you just see absolute carnage with, what was that, 321 billion damage with a 1.1, mind you. That was with a 1.1, so upwards of 1.5 times that number is going to get insanely high, and you can do some really, really cool things. But all in all, his best friend is going to be Gear 5 6-star Luffy, and I've done a lot of content with this particular team. This particular team is just so disgusting. when I say this particular team, I mean the hybrid captains of Gear 5 6 Plus and Gear 5 6 Star. If you guys want to see more content with this guy moving forward, let me know in the comment section below. I do have one more piece that is coming out with like Rev 2 and Dothy 2 after this particular video. But once I've done that, I think we're sort of tapped out with the Gear 5 content. We've definitely milked the man for all of his worth. But we're over here now against PKA level 150. And they did actually include this unit as a boosted character. They did add him to the boosted list. So I did put together a mono Psy team to actually take this down. Because remember, when you are running this character, you don't have to get shoehorned into utilizing one of every type. And most of the time you are, and if your brain works like mine when it comes to team building, you're probably going to do so. You're probably going to think the maximum effect I can get out of this unit is by bringing one of every type. But nevertheless, you actually don't. You don't have to bring one of every type. You can run a mono Psy team because he is a Psy unit. You can run a mono Free Spirit team because he is a Free Spirit unit. Yes, you will not get the super effect against all types. And yes, you will not have the synergy of everything working underneath him. However, if you're running a full Free Spirit team anyway, it's not going to matter because all your units are getting the synergy of a Free Spirit team. If you're running a mono Psy team, they've already got the synergy of a mono Psy team. Against PKA, this was just an absolute clap. Like, this was so goddamn easy. And PKA 150, by the way, it's nothing to scoff at. It's definitely quite hard content and something that everyone will be striving towards the back end of the month. Now, we're wrapping up against Big Mom for the Otama Fest and the Gear 5 celebration. But seeing the two Gear 5s go absolutely ballistic on this content was really fun because a lot of people summoned from this unit. Kid Law was the ideal unit to bring, but there were so many teams going around that could get this done, making it very accessible for players. And I really hope PKA is like this moving forward because it does open the door to so many rewards for players and the ability to get so much more buffs for your account. So let me know your thoughts and opinions of Gear 5 down below. I know a lot of people like the 6-star more than the 6 plus for utility purposes, but all in all, you have so much utility still in the game when you are running double 6 plus. And the damage output this unit can provide is almost like no other in the game. And for me, he sits pretty comfortably as the 4th best unit in the game. If you wanted to push him up or had him in your top 3, I would definitely understand. I could definitely see him being 2nd. I could definitely see him being 3rd. But for me, I think he's pretty comfortable in the 4th slot. But let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. While you're down there, don't forget to belt the like button, hit that big red subscribe button, do all the good stuff for me. Most importantly though, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Later.